Hello and welcome to Startup India Update, your quick and easy catch-up on everything that's buzzing in the Indian startup world. I'm Rachit, and every week, right here on deKoder, I break down the biggest stories. Who raised funding, who's going for an IPO, who's making the big moves, all without the jargon. If you love startups, tech, or just want to stay a little smarter about what's happening, you're in the right place. Alright, let's dive straight into this week's top updates. The first big news comes from Urban Company. Urban Company has officially started its journey towards going public by filing papers with SEBI to raise about 1900 crores. This filing, called a Draft Red Herring Prospectus or DRHP, is basically the first formal step any company takes when it wants to launch an IPO. Out of the total amount, 1200 crores will come from new shares issued by the company, while 700 crore worth of shares will be sold by early investors such as Accel and Elevation Capital. The money raised will be used to strengthen their brand, train service partners, upgrade technology, and expand internationally. Over the last year, Urban Company, led by Abhiraj Behel, has been laser focused on improving its profits, a critical move before any public listing. Already operating in India, UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Australia, Urban Company's IPO could turn it into one of India's few truly global consumer tech success stories. Moving on, the next story comes from the home and interior startup Lifepace. Home interiors platform Lifepace has raised $50 million in fresh funding led by KKR ahead of its planned IPO. Though headquartered in Singapore, Lifepace was founded in India and remains deeply entrenched in the Indian market. They provide a full-stack interior experience from design to delivery, combining online platforms with offline studios. The funding will strengthen operations, supply chain efficiencies, and tech capabilities as the company readies itself for public listing. Lifepace has expanded into Singapore, the Middle East, and Australia, tapping into the growing demand for organized home improvement. Investor interest in Lifepace signals confidence in premium consumer tech, even as broader fundraising remains cautious. Now, the big news. This comes from Flipkart. Flipkart's board has approved a major decision. The company will shift its legal headquarters from Singapore back to India. This move, often called a reverse flip, simply means bringing a company that was registered abroad back home to India. It's usually done to make it easier to follow local regulations and raise money from the Indian stock market. In the past, many startups moved overseas to access foreign funding more easily, but now the trend is reversing as India's capital markets mature. Walmart, which owns a majority stake in Flipkart, is fully backing the decision, betting big on India's long-term growth. This is a huge show of confidence not just in Flipkart, but in India's entire startup and business ecosystem getting ready for global scale IPOs. Next up, a new name in the startup world, PrimeBook. PrimeBook is an Indian startup that makes affordable Android-based laptops. The company has raised $2 million in pre-Series A round. Investors like Mount Judy Ventures and other global angels participated in the funding. PrimeBook's laptops priced between 15,000 rupees and 20,000 rupees are targeted at students and first-time users who need basic computing access. Unlike traditional devices, PrimeBook runs a customized Android OS optimized for lightweight education and productivity needs. The new funding will help them scale product development, team hiring, and expand distribution offline and online. With India still largely mobile first, PrimeBook is betting on a future where affordable laptops will unlock digital access for millions. Now let's shift gears to see what's the latest in the startup policy sector. India's top startup leaders have urged the government for sweeping reforms to strengthen India's position as a global innovation hub. At a recent interaction with Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal, founders and VCs stressed the need to simplify regulations around offshore listings, ease tax burdens, and make capital flows more flexible. One of the major concerns raised was around reverse flipping, which we just spoke about, where Indian startups move their base abroad for better funding and exit opportunities. industry leaders warned that without urgent reforms, India risks losing some of the best innovation stories. Minister Goyal assured that the government is committed to creating an environment where companies can grow without relocating. The meeting highlighted a key message: bold, quick reforms are no longer optional, they are essential. Alright, the next story is about Indian startups going global. AI-powered hiring platform GetWork has announced its entry into Switzerland, marking its first international expansion. GetWork connects students and freshers from Tier 2 and 3 cities with jobs and internships using AI and analytics. In Switzerland, it plans to build partnerships with universities and employers, replicating its India model. The move positions GetWork as a serious player in global early talent hiring. It's also a reminder that Indian startups are thinking global much earlier than before. This expansion highlights India's growing brand strength in smart, scalable HR tech solutions. Next up, news from the world of AI. Sarvam AI has secured access to over 4,000 NVIDIA GPUs to supercharge its large language model development efforts. This hardware boost will help them create India's first foundational generative AI model built specifically for Indian languages. The project is part of NVIDIA's initiative to strengthen India's AI ecosystem. Sarvam is addressing a major gap, making sure AI tools aren't built only for English-speaking audiences. With this move, Sarvam positions itself as a critical player in ensuring India's AI leadership. It's a bold leap forward, aiming to make India not just an AI consumer, but also an AI creator. And finally, let's take a look at who's moved where this week. Gunjan Soni has been appointed as the new country managing director for YouTube India. Before with Zalora and Jio platforms, Gunjan will now lead YouTube India's operations at a critical time for digital content growth. Amitesh Kumar Sinha has returned as the CEO of India's Semiconductor Mission. Sinha is expected to play a key role in driving India's semiconductor manufacturing strategy, especially in the government's renewed focus on chip-making capabilities. Leadership shifts like these show how India's digital and tech sectors are gearing up for the next wave of growth. There you have it. It's a wrap for this week's Startup India update. Hope you found it useful and maybe picked up even a few ideas or inspiration along the way. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to hit subscribe, share it with your friends, founders, and investors, basically anyone who loves startups as much as we do. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you again next week with more stories, insights, and action right here on deKoder.